Story 1. I'm 41 and at my parents' house because my father is dying of mesothelioma. He will likely die in the next day or so. We are keeping him comfortable so he can die at home. He's been comatose for the past 2 days and hasn't eaten anything since Saturday morning. The only liquids he's taking are the medications we squirt into his mouth with a syringe. No feeding tube was his choice. We're just sitting with him until he passes and making sure my mother isn't alone when it happens. So I'm going to go with that. Story 2. Years of depression and anxiety left me with no drive to do anything. I finally found something I think I can do, and now it's hard to get started. I never built the mental toolbox to do the stuff. Story 3. The feeling of not knowing what my long-term career should be, because the past trajectory isn't looking good, currently unemployed, and feeling fatigued every day both with and without a job. Story 4. The spiraling cost of living. Single-digit inflation, my foot. Is this just what life is forever? Barely get a foothold, then the rug is pulled, and by the time you stand up and look around, everything is 20% more expensive. Go forget yourself. Yeah, sick. No wonder youth around the world are giving up. I'm in my early 30s, so I didn't have skin in the game for 2008, but it feels like the last time any of my peers had hope was just before the pandemic. Since then, just slowly bleeding out. Story 5. Chronic fatigue. It makes everything more difficult, like walking through jello. I use what energy I have on the things that must be done, then have no energy left for fun. Story 6. Being unable to find a job. I am almost 60, and no one will hire me for any job. Nothing. I got turned down for a vacant cart collecting job at the grocery store. I'll be homeless soon because no one will take a chance on an old man, so that's pretty stressful. Story 7. Started my first ever job as a new graduate nurse. Everything about it is as stressful as it sounds. All the learning curve you're going through while you also look after nursing students of your own, time management, talking to physicians, surgeons, patients, and family, documentation so I don't go to jail, and so on. Like, why do you mean I'm responsible for these people's lives? At the same time, I'm super grateful for the opportunity and privilege of being able to be part of my patients' comfort and recovery goals. Story 8. Being a caregiver for my grandma every single day without a day off, and also having a son who is almost 3 to take care of. On top of that, my mom passed away 2 years ago, so I have no support system except my dad, who is still distraught over my mom passing suddenly. My life is in shambles. Story 9. Figuring out how to end things with my girl's dad, while also trying to find a backup plan in case things go bad and he doesn't leave. I need to find a place I can go with my kids. It is the most heartbreaking thing, the hardest and most brave thing I've done. I never wanted a broken family for my kids, but I don't want them to grow up seeing a toxic relationship. I want them to grow up seeing true love and what it's like to be treated right. I don't want them to grow up thinking they need a man. We both have some healing we need to do outside of being in a relationship together. I just wish it were easier and things didn't have to be so hard. I wish he understood. Story 10. This is thankfully the least stressed I have ever been. I finally made something of myself and have a career, no reason for anyone to be upset with me, and I am not terrible at this adult stuff I have found over time. So, as long as I am paid up on my bills, life is good. Story 11. Being in a job that is causing me a huge amount of stress, but the job market for my skills and salary is very thin right now. I can't just quit either, as I am the only income in my single-parent household. Just trying to ride the job wave and hope I can jump ship soon. Story 12. Husband out of work 2 months now and has shown some troubling signs of possible early dementia. He is depressed, and our marriage hasn't been strong for a long time due to infidelity on his part years ago. I can't carry our family of 5 on my salary alone. I'm only 46. It wasn't supposed to be this way. Story 13. Being broke. Almost all our money goes to bills. We finally splurged on a night out, but I felt guilty because it probably put us behind a bit. It also made me realize how long it had been since we did. I haven't been able to do the medical stuff I need because copays are too high, and the deductible resets in 2 months. Story 14. I'm about to become a single mom because my child's father is leaving me. Not only did he lose his job a few weeks ago, but I still have to live with him every day since he doesn't have a job and nowhere to go. He also told me 6 days before rent was due that he couldn't pay. My income alone isn't enough to pay the bills. So not only am I grieving the loss of the relationship I had, I have to see him every day in my home. I can't grieve and heal properly. I work full-time, go to school part-time, and now I'm also going to have to find a new job as well to support myself and our daughter. On top of all that, I have to figure out how to co-parent with the man I absolutely resent yet still love so much. Story 15. My parents' constant reliance on me. I'm 32 and live on my own in my own house and work a full-time job, yet I'm supposed to be available when they go on vacations to watch the diabetic dog, be my 32-year-old brother's personal support person, disabled due to severe anxiety, manage the family business, check up on my grandpa, etc., while also trying to live my own life. I can't go on vacations that will overlap with my parents' vacation because they only trust me to give the dog her shots and food. Someone needs to be there for my brother if he needs a ride, food, laundry, or to grab the mail. I am the youngest of 4 siblings, yet everything gets put on me. Story 16. Calling my insurance about an ambulance bill question and, off the cuff, asking about a small hospital charge, just to find out they didn't send the real bill yet. I have a nearly $3,000 bill coming soon out of the blue, plus a double ambulance bill from 2 different places when family requested our free membership ambulance provider respond. So, for $1,000 suddenly. Epilepsy. Story 17. My father is having an affair, and I just found out. I am not mentally stable as is. I'm a ticking time bomb, about to admit myself voluntarily into the psychiatric ward. Story 18. Not being able to tell a girl that I am madly in love with her. She is currently ending an 11-year relationship, and it is not the right time to confess to her yet. The last 2 months have been tough with overthinking every aspect. Years ago, I would have told her straight up, I am trying to be better. Story 19. It doesn't matter how much medication or therapy I have. I never feel like I can have healthy control of my emotions. They are always too big or always insignificant, never in the middle. Story 20. Money. I messed up with my own lack of financial literacy and a misunderstanding of how much a new job would pay me a couple of years back. I bought a new car that I thought I could afford easily, but it turns out I could really only just afford it. 2 years in, and I wish I could go back and scold myself for my unwise decision. Story 21. Praying my glasses don't break or I don't get a horrible toothache because I can't afford insurance and I'm legally blind without my glasses. The last pair was almost $500, and that was over 10 years ago. I badly need a new prescription. But yeah, I also had an abscess a few months ago, called to make an appointment, and they were booked for 4 months. Other places were similarly full, so I ended up taking care of it myself. That was exciting. Story 22. My wife. I'm a freelancer. I work as much as I can when it's busy and save money for the slow season. The slow season is starting, and there's almost nothing saved. My wife spent money this past summer without a care or thought of the future. I've tried to discuss budget and money concerns, and she won't have any of it. There's a very good chance my family is deeply, thoroughly financially troubled in the near future, and I'm racing towards it with a partner that couldn't care less. Story 23. Caring for my wife who has been off work for 18 months, so I guess money or lack of money, debt, plenty of debt, and general hopelessness. Do not get me wrong, I would do it all over again for her. But I am just tired, man. Story 24. The fact that a lot of the prices have gone up because of inflation, a month's worth of groceries now is worth about $500 at a Walmart. Story 25. Going through separation after 11 years together with 4 kids. It's hard when your life for the past decade has been focused around others, and you never had or took time to make friends outside of your marriage. Story 26. My salary has effectively been frozen for the last 5 years, and my partner and I have accumulated debt. I do like to treat myself to the occasional video game once in a while, but nothing excessive. If I didn't buy anything, I'd be even more depressed than I already am. We have a plan to pay it off to start saving for a wedding, but it's just time-consuming, and I can't stop thinking about the next big bills coming or any unexpected bills that might mess things up. I also don't really know what I want to do with my life. Story 27. I am gaining weight again. I was down almost 100 pounds and I've put about 40 back on, and I hate it. I feel like another statistic and I want so badly to correct it, but it is always, I'll get back on track tomorrow. And then I binge eat yet again. Endless cycle, and I feel like I am just destined to be obese. Story 28. Hate to say it, but the state of the world as a whole and our election in the United States. All the literal criminals just doing whatever they want with zero recourse. I do not and never really have stressed about much in life. Positive dude. Easygoing always. This rapid decline and general negative energy is definitely getting to me a little more than I would like. Story 29. I mostly work from home, which has now turned me into the family babysitter. I opted out of kids because I wanted to travel and be a bit of a fun mess. Now children are all I know. I just had to log out of my work environment to feed a 9-year-old, and I'm going to have a 3-year-old on deck at 10 in the morning tomorrow. The number I'm being paid for this is 0. But it's family, not much you can do. Story 30. I've been sick for almost a week. I have made some major progress, though. I haven't vomited in 2 days, and I'm drinking enough water that I no longer feel particularly dehydrated. Also, I ate today. Not much, but it's a start. Story 31. We are trying to buy a home and, holy-ish, the process is aggravating. Just wanting to be done. We rented, paying $2,000+ for years, and now are jumping through hoops to pay a mortgage of the same amount. It is whatever. The house is worth it. But this is so annoying and demoralizing. Story 32. My parents pressure me to find a man and start a family. I tell them I'm not interested, but every time it's brought up, it's all, I'm never having grandkids. I have 2 other siblings. They'll have their grandkids. I'm so bent out of shape. It feels like I have no purpose if I don't have a partner and kids. Story 33. I have a 3-week-old and a toddler who hates bedtime and is constantly waking up, disturbing the peace. Last night, my toddler was inconsolable until 5 a.m., and my newborn was up from 12 to 3. I fell asleep at 5 a.m. and slept through my pumping alarms again. I just got over the flu a few days ago and was getting back on track with my pumping schedule. I woke up with mastitis and now have flu symptoms because of it. I have cold sweats, a pounding migraine, and a sore breast that hurts to express and is clogged. Now I'm awake tonight going through the same cycle but too scared to sleep through my alarm, so I can't sleep. Story 34. Honestly, not much. I'm finally in a really good place. If my biggest stress is learning how to be in an awesome blended family, then I'm really lucky. Wouldn't mind $1 million, though. The hardest thing is accepting the happiness. Story 35. I'm pretty blessed to be able to say the most stressful thing in my life right now is full-time school and a full-time job. My heart goes out to the people who have bigger stressors and are struggling. Story 36. My family is actually extremely small. Extended family. I don't even want to go over there. It's just miserable. They have nothing positive to say. Nothing going on. And the heat is set to 80 degrees in full summer. Story 37. Emotionally and financially manipulative father was the reason I moved out. He then sold the family home to help him move overseas. He is back and has been shacked up in my living room because he doesn't have any money, and his health is not the greatest, and I have to take care of him on my own. Story 38. I'm 26 weeks pregnant with fraternal twins. I'm still working full-time. My nursery is nowhere near set up, and I'm so uncomfortable all the time. Story 39. My bone disease came back for the first time in 15 years. I have a fractured femur, and my pelvis is extremely thin. I'm 32 and having a hip replacement, partial pelvic reconstruction, and a rod replacement. It's expected to be an 8-hour surgery. I'm on bed rest until my surgery, which is scheduled for the day before Thanksgiving. I can deal with the pain. It's hard seeing my friends and family worry. Story 40. Broken ankle, hernia on the heels of another surgery, having to resign from years of weightlifting and giving up my passion for fitness, a dormant eating disorder being triggered, and being in autistic burnout while trying to hold down a job and make sure I don't alienate others. Story 41. Failed implants on the top, so I have no teeth for a month with a struggling denture that, no matter how much they take off, causes me to gag. The day I found out that my implants failed, I also lost my job. So yeah, definitely that. Feel like the ultimate failure in life. Story 42. I'm still a month away from starting treatment for my chronic illness. It might take some time to find the right medication, but my gastroenterologist has been pretty good. He might very well get it right the first time. I'm ready to gain some weight and be more energetic. I have gastroparesis, which is causing erosive gastritis, which is causing a light stomach bleed, which is causing iron depletion, which is about to turn into anemia. Just treating the paralysis could fix all of it. One of the prokinetic medications is also an antidepressant, so it could fix it all and more. I'm probably sad and listless from being in a constant state of starvation. I doubt it's actually major depressive disorder. Story 43. My wife developed health issues in 2017, hasn't been able to work full-time since then, and hasn't been able to work part-time since 2022. We finally have a disability court hearing with the state in December to determine if she is eligible to receive disability. That's after filing for government disability almost 2 years ago and being denied twice, once initially and once on reconsideration. Now we have this third upcoming attempt to appeal in court, and we've hired a lawyer as well. If she is approved for disability payments, the extra income will significantly improve our lives. But the stress of waiting and worrying about getting denied has me on edge. We are currently living paycheck to paycheck with a mountain of debt, and being able to pay off that debt would give us so much breathing room. I know that I could eventually crawl my way out of that debt, but I don't know if my mental health or marriage would survive that. The really sad part is that this whole long process of applying for government disability is normal. Most people will get denied twice and be forced to appeal in court, unless you have a terminal illness or something. And the 2-year process is on the faster side. Some people take up to 3 years depending on how slow their state processes things.